This one is this is a hot topic. Okay, this is a hot topic.
I'll come from a neutral point of view because I'm not in the healthcare. But I can tell you that they are good employers,
Yes.
and there is also very bad employers.
Yes.
The people that and they are good employees
And bad employees.
and bad employees. I've got another solicitor at the back should be there to have their own experiences, because both employers and employees come to us lawyers to complain, do those complaints.
Yeah.
I think maybe one of the starting points was the relationships when they were established at some point. They were not established on a proper platform.
Yes.
When people started recruiting relatives,
Yes.
family friends, some under the carpet transactions
Yes.
happening so much that the employee, when they come here, and they know that some 15,000,
Exchanged hands.
and you can't say anything to them because they will say, you owe me money. And so forth. And then some employers, you've got the attitude that I brought you from outside the country. And, you know, some people, an opportunity came up in the healthcare, and everyone just went into the healthcare without properly having the systems, procedures, and policies. They became a director overnight.
Yes.
And they've never had any training of being a company owner, and so forth. And now they're all of a sudden, because of a sponsor license, they've got 200 employees, and they can't manage them, and so forth. So, as employers, we need to do more. I know some employers are doing, I do audit, some employers are doing more than necessary. Some of them, they're not doing anything at all, and they are rogue employers, to use that term. And then at the same time, we've got employees that come to take advantage, like you're saying. They've seen an opportunity to come to the UK. They want to use you just as a way of getting their indefinite leave to remain and then settlement and so forth. But I think if they are treated fairly in those circumstances, I'm sure they will be able to perform their duties properly. But you know, some are underpaid, not paid. Contracts are breached, they are paying according to hours that they've worked instead of the contractual hours and so forth. So there's a lot of things. As a firm, we ended up starting this Telegram group that we have, or which we call the Tier 2 support group, where we discuss things with all the employees who want to join. Things like simple as how do you get a school place for your child, how to integrate in the local community, how to look for insurance online. There was no insurance in Zimbabwe, online purchasing and so forth, let alone paying the insurance itself and so forth. So some of the things that we've done on our part.
Yeah. Sorry, do you mind standing? Sorry. Yeah.
So another lawyer follows another lawyer. I guess from what I would like to comment, or maybe even ask, we've talked about it from the perspective of somebody who is almost being orientated, isn't it? Do this works. But do we also talk, I guess, understanding the unconscious and conscious bias that also exists within the systems that are within where we operate. And I think I've been listening to everybody from this morning, and it's in this. I guess my worry is we're looking at it from our perspective as Black or ethnic minority people, but in which environment are we operating, and is that environment conducive for us to operate? And therefore, do we also need to talk about the unconscious bias that happens, the conscious bias that happens, the discriminatory practices that happens, which are beyond our control? We could want to be good employers, but we get paid peanuts. We could want to be a good employee, but we think about what we've left home. So in thinking about our ethics and what we're thinking about, do we also orientate people around the unconscious and the conscious and the discriminatory practices that happen?
I think to answer that, I think that's my point. That's partly my point. We're coming into a set system, and we cannot run away from institutional or societal racism, for example. And the people that you're employing are coming into exactly that, but are not aware that they're coming into these things or what these things look like or feel like. And so you find there's always going to be a clash, unconscious or conscious. But you have a responsibility to articulate that actually you might encounter this and this is what it looks like. And to put systems in place that support, but to raise awareness. Because actually when people are not aware, it is more harmful, it is more hurtful. But when people are aware, so, you know, I was talking to someone who said, oh my God, Chen, I didn't realize how black I was. And I was like, what do you mean you didn't realize how black you are? And they were the only black person in on the whole ward that they worked on. And it was difficult for them because, for example, they would go with their jollof rice to work and it would stink up the whole ward. And everyone would be in shock. What's this? And, you know, you end up having to explain. They felt embarrassed. And actually, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. That's your culture. But how do you articulate that? How do you make it acceptable? And how do you have those conversations with people? But if I'm coming from Chegu to over there and I don't know anything, and I just think, oh, well, I'm here, you will all of a sudden really feel black. And people will make you feel black and make you feel small and make you feel unworthy. And yet it's not about that. There needs to be a conversation. There really needs to be a conversation.
Okay, I agree. But for me, the biggest thing is, at the end of the day, let us not forget, we are humans, we're infallible.
Yeah, I just want to appreciate the conversation that we are having today. But also because as a director, we encounter so many challenges when you're working with people who have come into a new culture. And right here, I am looking around and I can see a very good gentleman who's white. We're not engaging him. A lady who's white. We're not engaging him, and we're not trying to find out how else can we encompass and bring these people within our environment. So I'm one who challenges this notion of subconscious and unconscious mindset. When we bring these people, we know that we've gone through a series of events in our life here, 20, 30, 40 years, 11, 5 years. It's taken you time to understand this is how I can run a business in this country, this is what I need to do. These people, they land here and you take them to start looking after somebody who is very weak and vulnerable. They have no idea about their tea, their coffee, the way they want to do, they like their theater. They do take them to their theaters, but it takes them time. It is our responsibility as directors, I feel, to take upon our profits and encourage these people to go and watch videos, seminars, theaters, go with them and talk to them about the culture you are in is different from where you're coming from. And I think it will make a big difference to the employees you're working with. I feel what the gentleman who is a lawyer has obviously dealt with challenging behaviors with directors who are new in this business. What we should be doing is encouraging new directors and giving them a vision of how to change or understand the business concepts. And this environment today is the perfect environment, and I appreciate those who've organized it. So thank you.
Thank you. You had something else to add?
Thank you. I think this is a very sensitive topic, and I see what my brother is saying, and also what the lawyer is saying as well. So I'm also a director, a lawyer. I think what has happened is we are not seeing this as an investment. Yeah, when we bring people from Zimbabwe, Nigeria, wherever we're bringing people from, it's an investment on its own. What we are seeing is we have brought people and we are going to make a lot of money because we're going to have a lot of hours. These people still need the training. These people still need to integrate. Like what the lawyer was saying, that, there's been some deals, where people come in and also bringing relatives and whatever. Just take somebody from the kitchen where they was a teacher, never used a laptop or a computer or anything, let alone has never had a phone that is digitalized. It's got that Chimbuzi, Zimbabwe, those who know Chimbuzi in Zimbabwe, right? You bring them here, and they just do what do you call it, an induction, a small induction. Then there they are, out there, having to go and take care of people. That is wrong. That is absolutely wrong. We have employed over 60 to 70 people from across Africa. And I can stand here even on record that I have never taken even a 1p or $1 from anybody. Because every one of those people are an investment in my company. So what we have done is we have put over 100,000 aside for investment and training only. Yeah, since they came in until today. Some of them right now we are renewing their COSs because we took them on 3 years, so we are renewing because the 3 years is almost done. And we have never made them pay. If anything, we are actually paying them. We actually give loans for them to buy cars, nice cars, at 0% interest. All they need to do is they need to pay back to the company. If they are having struggles, we give loans 0% interest because we want to try to make sure that these people. Richard Branson did say that if you treat your employees well, they have no reason to leave. Yeah, I'm going to touch wood like what the English people do. I don't know why they do it, but none of our employees have left since they came. And
that's good.
Majority, because we are in children's services, majority now, I think what we did is also because our recruitment was not who we know or whatever. We took professionals in Zimbabwe. I've got professors, I've got doctors, I've got managers who are coming from banks, managers, and they've got different skills, right? Some of those managers now are level 5. They're actually managers in some of my homes right now as we speak. They are deputy managers, they are leaders in those homes. We have trained them. We have invested money to train them. Even if they leave tomorrow, I've got no problem with that. After all, people do leave. But they are not going to leave and say this company was this, that. No. Because if anything, we have empowered them. Yeah, and they've got no reason to leave right now as we speak. No reason at all. We pay them over and above the minimum wage that Home Office says we should pay, because that is what we pay the local people. So they are paid the same salary as the local people. Why not? Because they are also trained. And majority of them are actually more trained than the local people. Yeah. Ofsted at some point did ask me, they said, these people are overqualified. Why are they working with children? Because they're overqualified. We are talking of people with PhDs, talking of people with degrees and the like. So it's how we treat them. It's how we treat them. These are not just people who have to make money. Ladies and gentlemen, if we are doing that, these are the businesses that are going to die a natural death. Because these people are going to live anyway. And you'll be left with no one. Invest in your business on training and making sure that you look after your staff. Yeah, we gave 2 months free rent in our houses for all our staff, and some of them stayed for more than 6 months because they didn't have anywhere to go. Yeah, we can't put them in the streets. We can't do that, right? So it's all about us, and this whole thing has to change, because I'm hearing these stories a lot, especially home care. Yeah, you expect people to go to work, they don't even have a car, they don't have, what you just want is just give them the shift and go to work. Come on. And want them to perform. Invest in them. Training. All of them.